You work tirelessly every day, you save, you sacrifice, and you plan for the future. But every month, it feels like you're falling further behind. Your hard-earned money just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Does that sound familiar? It's not your fault. There's a silent, invisible force at play, constantly eroding your wealth. It's built into the very system of money we use every single day. And understanding it, truly understanding it, is the first step toward reclaiming your financial power. Today, we're diving into what I call the final battle for money. The monumental clash between the traditional system of fiat currency and the revolutionary challenger, Bitcoin. This isn't just about economics, it's about freedom, control, and the future of your hard-earned value. Let's get started. For most of human history, money was tangible. It was gold, silver, or something valuable in itself. It was scarce, difficult to counterfeit, and couldn't just be created out of thin air. This type of currency was commodity money, but over time, governments realized control over money meant immense power, and so we slowly transitioned to what we know today as fiat currency. Fiat is Latin for "let it be done," meaning this money has value simply because a government says it does. It's not backed by gold, it's backed by the full faith and credit of the issuing government. Think about that for a second. Its value comes from trust in an institution. How does this system work? At its heart are central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the US or the European Central Bank. They control the money supply. They print new money. They set interest rates, and they lend to commercial banks, who then lend to you and me, multiplying that money through something called fractional reserve banking. It's an incredibly powerful system designed to provide stability and flexibility, especially during economic downturns. But this power comes with a fundamental flaw, the ability to create unlimited money. When central banks flood the system with more currency, a process often called quantitative easing, the supply of money increases. And what happens when supply goes up, but the amount of goods and services stays the same? The value of each unit of money goes down. This is inflation. It's not just prices going up, it's your money buying less. It's a silent, invisible tax on your savings. Every time new money is printed, the purchasing power of your existing money is diluted. It's a transfer of wealth from savers to borrowers, from the public to the state. Governments can use inflation to pay down their massive debts, effectively borrowing from the future value of your money. The emotional impact. It's that gnawing anxiety you feel. You experience a sense of helplessness as your nest egg diminishes. It's the feeling that no matter how diligently you work, you're on a treadmill, running faster and faster, just to stay in the same place. This syndrome is the inherent design flaw of a money system built on centralized control and infinite supply. Now, let's rewind to 2008. The world was in financial meltdown, banks were collapsing, and trust in institutions was shattered. In the midst of this crisis, an anonymous entity, or group, known as Satoshi Nakamoto, published a white paper that would change everything. The title, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Bitcoin was born as a direct response to the flaws of fiat. It sought to create a money system that was decentralized, censorship-resistant, and free from human intervention. So, how does this digital rebel work? Unlike fiat, Bitcoin isn't controlled by any central bank or government. It operates on a global, distributed ledger called the blockchain. Every transaction is recorded, verified by a network of computers worldwide, and then permanently added to this chain. Here are the key principles that make Bitcoin fundamentally different. Absolute scarcity. This is perhaps Bitcoin's most revolutionary feature. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. That's it. There will be no additional or decreased quantity. It's digitally scarce, like gold is physically scarce. This fixed supply is programmed into its code, unchangeable. This makes it deflationary by nature. As adoption grows, and if demand outpaces supply, its purchasing power tends to increase over time, protecting your wealth rather than eroding it. Decentralization. There's no Bitcoin CEO, no Bitcoin central bank. It's run by thousands of independent computers, nodes, around the world. This feature means no single entity can control it, censor your transactions, or freeze your funds. It is permissionless. Transparency. Every single transaction ever made on Bitcoin is recorded on the public blockchain, accessible to anyone. You can see the flow of money, but the identities behind the transactions are pseudonymous. This process is transparent without being intrusive. Trustless. This is critical. With fiat, you trust the government not to debase your currency. With Bitcoin, you don't need to trust anyone. You trust the math, the cryptography, and the open source code. It's verified by the network, not by an authority. The emotional appeal of Bitcoin? It's the promise of financial sovereignty, the ability to truly own your money, free from confiscation, censorship, or invisible devaluation. It offers an escape from the endless treadmill of inflation, a way to preserve your labor and time over the long term. It's about reclaiming control in an increasingly centralized world. So we have these two titans, the established fiat empire, built on trust in authority and infinite supply, versus the Bitcoin rebellion, built on trust in code and absolute scarcity. This isn't just a technical debate, it's an ideological battle for the very nature of money and power. Of course, Bitcoin isn't without its challenges. Critics point to its notorious volatility. Yes, its price can swing wildly in the short term. But is that the fault of Bitcoin, or a reflection of its newness, its smaller market cap, and the clash with a trillion-dollar legacy system? There are concerns about energy consumption. Bitcoin mining does use a lot of electricity, but how much of that is from renewable sources? And is it more or less wasteful than printing, transporting, and securing physical cash, or maintaining the entire global financial system? These are nuanced discussions. And what about illicit use? Just like cash, Bitcoin can be used for bad deeds. But data shows that the vast majority of illicit finance still flows through traditional banking channels. Bitcoin's public ledger actually makes it harder for large-scale, long-term illicit activity to go undetected. Conversely, the fiat system is confronted with an existential crisis. The never-ending cycle of debt and money printing creates inflationary pressures that erode the middle class. Governments all over the world are looking into central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. These are digital versions of fiat, controlled by the central bank. While convenient, they represent the ultimate centralization of money, potentially giving governments unprecedented control over how and when you can spend your money. Imagine a world where your money could be programmed to expire, or where certain purchases could be blocked. This arrangement is the logical extreme of centralized fiat. The true conflict lies not in determining which system is superior in isolation. It's about which system you believe is more resilient, more equitable, and more aligned with your fundamental rights to financial privacy and property. Fiat offers stability, backed by government might, but at the cost of your purchasing power and ultimate control. Bitcoin offers freedom, scarcity, and decentralization, but with the challenge of personal responsibility and short-term volatility. The winner of this battle won't be declared by a government decree. You, I, and millions of individuals will decide it by making choices with their wealth. It will be decided by the market. So, what does this all mean for you? It means that understanding money is no longer optional, it's essential. The future of your wealth, your savings, and your financial freedom hinges on understanding these fundamental shifts. You now have a clearer picture of the two dominant monetary paradigms. One represents the past, struggling with its inherent flaws. The other, a radical vision for the future, still in its early stages but gaining incredible momentum. The choice isn't simple, and it's deeply personal. But armed with knowledge, you can make informed decisions, protect your hard-earned value, and take control of your financial destiny. Because ultimately, your money represents your time, your effort, and your life. And that power is yours. If this deep dive helped you think smart about your money, please hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe to invesYou, where we help you grow your money the smart way.